खेती आपके मरो more. So, but one thing important in this world is that Papa Apanul replacing when you are thirsty, you drink water, immediately your thirst is satiated and you feel a fresh place. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that this qualification of the water Tavo Apano. What is that word? Om. Rasu Kom Deva. Prabhas means Sasisuja. So, this satisfaction, actually, our satisfaction can be revived only with relationship of Krishna. Revival of our relationship to Krishna. That is Shanti. Just like Dhruva Maharaj, when he came in contact with Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was hankering after material opulence, kingdom, a better kingdom than his father, than his grandfather. That was his ambition as a child. He was insulted by his stepmother. So, actually, when he saw Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, he was so satisfied that he said, Shamin Pita Josmi Paramanajachi. Now I have no more hankering. But this is also one thought. In this material world, we are suffering so many varieties of tap. Tapan Vindanti Maithanam Agaram. It is simply full of tapa. Tapa means heat and tapa means unbearable, miserable condition. Therefore from tapa it comes from topo, tapasya. Tapasya means voluntarily accepting some unfavorable condition. Of course, the soul is not affected by any favorable or unfavorable condition. Actually, there is no connection with the favorable and unfavorable condition. It is simply obligation. The mind being affected by the material contamination, we are suffering so-called miserable condition of life. It is due to the mind. Otherwise, as it is said, one man is satisfied in a very poor condition of life, and another man is not satisfied even in the best opulent condition of life. Why? It is due to the mind. It is due to the mind. So therefore, whole process of spiritual life or peaceful life, spiritual life is peaceful. Material life is not peaceful life. Ahankara mula. there are so many varieties of desires in material life. Therefore, one cannot be peaceful. That is not possible. But when one enters into spiritual life means to revive our spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness, then we can become happy. That is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Three things, if we learn, what are those three things? Bhoktaram Jagutavasam Sarvalokumanisam Sriram Sarvabhutanam Vyattamam Shanti. Shanti, if we learn these three things, then we get Shanti. Shanti, that is clearly expressed in Chaitanya Charitamrita also. It is said in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Gyatva ma, me, Krishna says, person. That's like, give me. But Krishna says, Gyatva ma. What is that? We have to know Krishna, that he is actually enjoying. Master and servant. If the servant knows that in this house, my master is the proprietor, he is the enjoyer, I am simply servant. That is peaceful. But if he artificially tries to become the master, although he is servant there, then there is hard disturbance. So, here, our miserable conditions are caused by our thinking that I am the proprietor, I am the owner, I am the enjoyer. One becomes the owner, proprietor because he wants to enjoy. So, this is our business. Actually, we are servants of Krishna. Jive Swarup Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. This is our original business. We are servants, even in this condition. But we are servants of Maya, illusion. Means we are servants of our lusty desire, calm, growth, anger, low, greediness, moha, illusion, so many mother, madness. We are servant of these propensities. We are not master. When you become master of these sense gratification processes, then you are Swami. That is the position of Swami. Swami means master. Goswami. Goswami means this controller of the senses. Go means senses. So Swami or Goswami means one who has control over the senses or one who has control over the mind. The mind is very restless. The whole yogic process is meant for controlling the mind. Because unless you control the mind will volumes of desires, hundreds, thousands, millions, and you have to satisfy them. They are very something. You have to satisfy the master, who has become your master, mind. Then you understand there cannot be any peace, and mind has got many millions of desires. Therefore, when you can control over the mind, that mind desires something and you have to control. No, you cannot do it. Then you become Swami. Swami, this sannyasi, they are giving you title, Swami or Goswami, because the sannyasi are supposed the senses. Therefore they are called Swami. Otherwise, not Swami, but servant. If you are controlled by the mind, then you are servant. And if you are controller of the mind, then you are servant. The same person. So how can we become Swami? Because we are falsely thinking that I am the proprietor, I am the enjoyer, I am the leader, I am the friend of my family, my society, my nation, so many ways. You have to convert this thing. Srila Prabhupada, Krishna said that I am the friend of everyone. But we are taking the place of Krishna, leadership. I am declaring to my countrymen, to my followers, that I am your friend. So actually, I cannot be friend because I do not know what is the goal of life. I cannot lead them properly. Some immediate convenience we can offer, and people being less intelligent, they are after immediate profit. It is called prayer. Just like if you say to a small child, don't go to school, please come and play with me. He would like to play with his friend. That is immediate profit. But if you ask him to go to the school, that is remote profit. That is called Sriya. And prayer. Prayer means immediate profit. And you are two young men. If one friend says to the other friend, oh, let us go to the cinema, that is very bad. And if he says, let us go to this meeting in Hare Krishna night, that is not good. This is the distinction between Sreya and Kriya. Nisreshaya. Nisreshaya means ultimate goal of life, ultimate profit of life. The ultimate profit of life is to go back to home, back to God. Because we are suffering on account of separation from God. This is our problem, suffering. Instead of becoming servant of God, we have become the servant of senses. That is the cause of our suffering. Therefore, three things, if we can understand thoroughly, that Krishna or God is the proprietor and enjoyer of the whole universe of creation, and Bhoktaram Jagudavasam Sarvu Sarvaloku Mahesam. He is the proprietor of all universal planets and Sridham Sarvupana, and he is the real friend of everyone. Jata, one who knows, Krishna says, Ma, me, then he gets shanti. Otherwise there cannot be shanti. The Chaitanya Charitamrita also is confirmed that Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakuli Asana Krishna Bhakta Nishtam Adayatam. Krishna Bhakta, one is fully Krishna conscious, he is Shanta, he is fully confident. Krishna consciousness, the God consciousness, he is fully confident that Krishna has surrendered to Krishna, has taken shelter of Krishna, and he has promised, Aham Tva Sarva Vibham Krishna. Then, when the cause of my life, therefore he can become. He has understood Krishna, the Supreme Personality, Almighty, All-Powerful, full of all opulences. So if he has taken my job, then what is my intent? That is son. That is son. And so long we are taking shelter of Maya, assault, which will not stay. Suppose we are taking shelter, child is taking shelter of the father, mother, or the citizen is taking shelter of the state, of the government. So one has to take shelter of something else for protection, for security. But they are not actually security, therefore we are always full of anxiety. You may be a citizen of a great state like United States of America, but you are not without any anxiety, because that center is not sufficient. That will not stay. Just like recently in America, they had to dethrone Mr. Nixon because they are not free from anxiety. So you cannot become free from anxiety by taking shelter of anything material. That is not possible. Sada samudrina dhiyam asad graha. Asad and sat. Sat means eternal and asad means temporary. So we are eternal. Nahannate hannamane sarire. We are not annihilated after the annihilation and destruction of this body. Therefore, we have to take shelter of the eternal. Then we'll be happy. And so long we shall take shelter of the temporary thing, of this material world, material society, fancy, love, state, community, nation, anything you take, they are not permanent. They cannot be happy. But if you take shelter for security, at the lotus feet of the Supreme, then you are actually secure. Sada samurdhina dhiyam asadgraha. Asadgraha. Asad means this material body. It will not stay. Just like this material body. It will not stay, anyone knows. It has a beginning, but it stays for some time. It transforms some other body as children. Then it becomes old, dwindling, and then finished. These are 6 different transformations of